Seen a couple of movies that dealt with fantasy, sword fighting, and stuff like that, and that kind of got bowling around in my head, and a couple other things from my youth that kind of started mixing into it. And at the time, I was in love with a girl that I wanted to impress, and so I put her in the story, and she's still in it, and she's still a central character. I mean, this is her. And so those factors together is what inspired me to write it. Again, style for them. They enjoy it. It'll ever be a lifestyle because it is for training to be ready to do something like just say, well, I'm going to go up and it'll be a big bear bust after. No, you have in order to begin. And I can, well, you probably can, and I can done that before, I'm sure. But to put them all together, have to be within in order to get it done. And it in 2009, actually in 2008, I had always had this want and will to do a marathon. And I wanted to beat all of my siblings doing it, you know, kind of one up them. And unfortunately, my brother, just older than me, beat me to it. And so I was kind of looking around trying to figure out, okay, how can I one up him? You know, because we've got this kind of a rivalry going on, you know, who's the who can go the furthest and yada yada, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. And a friend of mine suggested triathlon. And I thought, no, you know, yada yada. No, I'm not going to do stuff like that. But they kind of persisted and talked me into it. And I decided, okay, I'll try this. And so in 2009, I tried it, and darn near drowned during the swim. Was the last one out of the water. In fact, I was the last one to finish the whole race, but I finished it. You're swimming for almost 2.5 miles, and you have a little over 2.5 hours to finish the swim. Okay, so you have to do that in about 2.5 hours, 2.25 miles, or 2.5 miles. And then you have to immediately get onto a bicycle and ride for 112 miles. And you have to have that done in less than 8 hours. And then when you get off of your bike, you have to run a marathon, 26.2 miles. And you have to be done before midnight. And so you've got 17 hours to do this entire thing. You have got to want it in order to put yourself through that. Because you say, well, I can swim that far, I can do it. Well, you probably can. And I can ride my bicycle that far. Well, you probably can do that too. And I can run a marathon, I've done that before. I'm sure that you have. But to put them all together, and you have to be within a certain time frame in order to get it done, that's something entirely different. And it takes you places, both physically, or not both, but physically, spiritually, and mentally, that you have never been before. Again, it's difficult to put into words, but the euphoria afterwards of the accomplishment is just, well, it's similar to writing a book. For me, anyway. It's just, it's astounding. And it's almost like a drug. And you got to do it again. And you got to go do it again. You got to go do it again.